Different cultural groups think, feel, and act differently. There is no scientific standards for considering one group as essentially superior or inferior to another. Studying differences in culture among groups and societies presupposes a position of cultural relativism. It does not imply normalcy for oneself, nor for one's society. It, however, calls for judgment when dealing with groups or societies different from one's own, information about the nature of cultural differences between societies. Their roots, and their consequences should precede judgment and action. Negotiation is more likely to succeed when the parties concerned understand the reasons for the differences in viewpoints. Ecological people interact with nature in contrast with logical people who act upon nature and mythological people who are acted upon by nature. They engage in dialogue with nature. Dikes in Holland are made with layers of mud and rocks and woven willow mats. When the fury of the North Atlantic strikes these dikes, they absorb the force with the flexibility of willow branches by moving in tune with the waves. This ecological solution stands in contrast to the logical solution of most European port cities that have built sea walls of steel-reinforced concrete to stop the waves. Acting against nature, these firm walls are eventually smashed apart and need to be rebuilt, unlike the Dutch dikes that flexibly move with the natural rhythms. The mythological solution is to passively accept the edict of nature by neither building firm walls nor flexible dikes. Following the mythological solution, 1/3 of Holland would be underwater. For consumers who desire more flexibility, an increasing number of companies are offering hybrid gas grills outfitted with pans or pull-out drawers to accommodate charcoal and/or wood. 1. In addition, some barbecues can be customized with carts containing refrigeration or even an oven, allowing one to grill and bake at the same time. 2. And those who like their meat smoked on occasion can opt for accessories such as smoking trays and smoker boxes, or simply invest in a separate smoker. 3. In addition, because grilling is a day and nighttime activity, many of today's barbecues incorporate surface lighting, as well as LEDs on the control panel to ensure temperature settings are visible after dark. 4. Of course, grills are but one component of the growing interest in outdoor kitchens. However, as these spaces continue to expand in functionality, taking on features that allow for year-round enjoyment, so too will the development of grill technology. 5. After all, as Russ Falk noted, everything tastes better off a grill. In the 5th century, Germanic expansion brought about the fall of the Roman Empire. Subsequently, without the Roman army to defend them, many lands passed under the control of Germanic tribes. 1. The movements of the West Germanic tribes are particularly important to the story of English. 2. By the end of the 5th century, West Germanic speakers had taken control of much of France and England. 3. In France, many words of the conquering Frankish Germans were incorporated into the vocabulary. These words included the name of the land itself, called Gallia, Gaul. Under the Romans, it now came to be called Francia, France, land of the Franks. 4. Still, Latin remained the language of France. 5. It is perhaps surprising that the conquerors adopted the language of the conquered people, but the high prestige of Latin as the language of a great empire and civilization may have contributed to its survival. It is estimated that for every human being alive today, there are as many as 200 million individual insects. Just the total weight of all the ants in the world, all 9,000 different kinds, is 12 times greater than the weight of all the humans on the planet. Despite their amazing numbers and the fact that they are found virtually everywhere, insects and other arthropods are still very alien to us. As if they were beings from another planet, they move on 6 or more legs, stare with unblinking eyes, breathe without noses, and have hard skinless bodies made up of rings and plates, yet there is something strangely familiar about them. 2. Arthropods have to do all the things people do to survive, such as find food, defend themselves from their enemies, and reproduce. They also rely on their finely tuned senses to see, touch, hear, smell, and taste the world around them.